Hello and welcome back to another video here with me, Mioni, for Final Fantasy XIV. I just wanted to spend a few minutes and give you my own predictions for this upcoming weekend's FanFest in Paris, Europe for the 2nd and 3rd of February. My bags are all packed and I'm raring to go out there and meet you all, but what exactly do I think they'll actually unveil? So this can be broken down into what I'd actually like to see and what I actually think they'll show. You have to remember there's one more FanFest after this in Japan, so we have to leave some expectations aside a little for that. My money, however, would really be on a job unveiling as the first port of call. I would imagine that the gunblade wielding job will be unveiled, be that Magitech Knight or by another name, and I have a small hunch it will be a tank, but you never know, it could be a DPS, like a lot of people are arguing about. The reason I think they'll unveil a job this weekend is because not only did they say jobs, i.e. plural, for this new expansion originally, the Blue Fever leaks last year was spot on as we found out, with every prediction coming true, with some minor differences along the way. Obviously, the other potentially leaked job is Dancer, which could be a healer, or I guess just another mage, but it's probably better to make it a healer for the balance. I would severely doubt they would unveil two jobs at one FanFest, and as I said before, something has to be saved for Japan FanFest as well. So I think we'll get Gunblade, and then Tokyo will probably unveil Dancer if indeed that is what the other class will be. As for other announcements, well, I think we'll get more ironclad Viera details, to be honest, considering Fran made her debut into the Aubon Monastery storyline, and anyone who finished Aubon Monastery knows where that story's going, pretty much opening Shadowbringers up to the idea of the Viera being quite a significant part in where we're headed. I would imagine full models, concept art. I would essentially hope a male reveal, or at least confirmation that this new race won't be gender locked, but if it is gender locked, then I would expect them to list an alternative. Perhaps Blue Fever's rumoured Ronso race could actually be a reality as well, as a male-only equivalent to the female Viera. I'm not really sure, but it would be really unlikely for them to not go over the new race now that it's been revealed, and that we actually have a Viera in the game. Next up, the Final Fantasy XV crossover event is actually missing an announcement and details, so I would imagine they've saved that up for this FanFest. I'm expecting a trailer for this event, perhaps with something evil coming to our world from 15's, perhaps their version of Garuda, or perhaps even Ardyn or something. I would love to see another trial fight personally. I loved the Monster Hunter 4-man, for example, but anything really would be welcome, and I think it's long overdue they talked about this event. Other things they will probably cover are more zone maps. They like to talk about the various flora and fauna in zones, perhaps unveiling of more concept art then, and perhaps a look at the upcoming Blue Mage content. Blue Mage got quite a mixed reception, but it would be interesting to see how fast exactly they've decided to add content to it, being that we only have a few select things to do at level 50 currently. They'll no doubt throw facts and figures about how many Blue Mages were on or so on. They like to do that sort of thing, and I can't imagine they'll ignore that sort of information this time after all of the hard work they've put into the conception and indeed the development of the limited job system. The next trailer for Shadowbringers is pretty much guaranteed, part 2 of 3. Yes, this is a foregone conclusion. They want to release a new trailer section each FanFest until all 3 FanFest trailers together make an actual opening cinematic for this new expansion. Seeing the next part and trying to figure out what's exactly going on will be very exciting as always, with no doubt some more brief information during the live letter that will take place alongside this trailer, detailing some of the information within, but probably not giving away too much. As for anything else I think will happen at FanFest, they could surprise us with something crazy, but I think overall that's reserved for the job unveiling and perhaps more information on the Viera. Remember, they still haven't gone out and said the Viera are a race, so they'll probably do that on stage, and that should get the crowd predictably pretty hyped. But when it comes to things I would actually like to see, for a start, a Q&A section that isn't filled with odd questions, especially those that concern nonsensical ideas, such as the guy last year who decided to ask about cybersex when it should be about the flipping game. I'm not sure what that was about really, but in general, I think what I want to see is pretty much getting close to the same as what I predict will actually happen. There is obviously a few things I want to see more of. In particular, I'd love them to show us more about this farming activity that was briefly mentioned. I want to see more about the rebuilding of Ishgard questline and how they plan to make it work, with ultimately the player housing aspect unlocking and the whole process of that. And I think something I want more clarity and information from them on is both the Trust system and the New Game Plus mode, both of which I feel need to have concrete details before I continue to compare them to Final Fantasy XI's Trust or a classic New Game Plus mode from a single player game. There's not really that much information on this, and I would hope that they would cover this at FanFest, but whether or not they have time is another question entirely. Either way, it's all exciting stuff with a weekend full of craziness. You'll get my reactions to the event and the usual event videos a couple of days after the event ends. Unfortunately, that's the nature of travelling around Europe. I don't have laptops or the like to make content on the move yet, but as soon as I'm home, you can be sure I will be attacking your subscriber feed as usual. So let me know below what you expect to see and want from this FanFest, and if you are indeed going, I'd love to hang out if I can. Thank you kindly for watching, and I'll see you all next time.